Howdy all, this is Shane and welcome to the INTHEBLUES Tone Podcast. This is episode 3 of the podcast that can now also be found on iTunes just by searching for In The Blues on their store. I had a lot of requests to add it to Android apps as well, and I need to look into that. So thanks for all the suggestions, and I'll try and get that done sometime this month. And also you can just go to guitarpedaldemos.com, which is my other website, to basically stream it from there as well. It should work on any smartphone or tablet. Today will be a different podcast. I actually have a guest on with me, and it's Dave Street from Little Crow Guitars, and we're going to have a chat via Skype shortly. For those that don't know the Little Crow guitars or bass guitars, head over to littlecrowguitars.com or punch it into the search engine on YouTube and check out some of his guitar and bass demos. His latest guitar, the Corvino SD, totally blew me away. I want to have a chat to him about that. It's a huge step in the right direction. His guitars have always been good, but now they're going past good and they're becoming great. It's one of the best guitars I've ever played, and it sounds really, really nice. So yeah, I was dying to have a chat to him about that, and Dave was nice enough to come onto the show and have a chat with everybody. So we're going to touch on some subjects and take it from there. Hello, Dave.
Shane.
You're the first guest on the In The Blues podcast, so thanks so much for being a part of this. I appreciate it.
No worries, I'm honoured.
Now, there's a bit of buzz going around about that new SD Corvino that has been posted on YouTube. I got to say, I'm really impressed with the step in a different direction from the original. Well, I guess I would just start by asking you just a couple of questions about how, I guess, Little Crow Guitars started and what made you want to build guitars.
Well, I suppose the way it got going is because we make furniture normally, and we had a bit of a lull in the furniture market, and we were looking at other things to make, and I actually heard a radio program about another Australian guitar maker, a guy by the name of Greg Smallman. He makes acoustic and classical guitars. And I just liked the way he approached the whole thing and the way he got started, which was, it was totally out of his field, and he just immersed himself and got totally dedicated, and I found that quite inspiring. And I thought, I've always had an interest in music. I haven't been much of a musician, but because we work so much with wood, we thought it'd be worth a try. And it's been a real adventure, actually.
So you definitely have a unique design to your guitars. What was the major influence on the way that you took your designs?
Well, it was a long process, really. We started off with a solid body, and then I think I posted on Facebook some sort of sketches that I'd made, and one of them was pretty much the prototype of the Corvino, and that actually got the most response. And so I ran with that idea and just developed it a bit further. And I suppose that's the refinement of that sort of seed. After looking at various models online, of different makers, I was quite influenced by Nick Huber's designs.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite guitars ever.
He makes some really nice guitars, and I've been a bit influenced by him, and I can't think of anyone else really offhand.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I didn't know that actually until now. That when I was away recently, I got a chance to play a couple of hundred left-handed guitars, and the Nick Huber stuff really stood out, and I didn't know anything about them, and they've got a really unique design and great tone as well. So you're sort of in the same ballpark of having something that's really quite appealing to traditionalists in terms of what they would like in guitars, as well as maybe venturing out of that typical, Strat Tally kind of vibe. You've taken that and you've actually made it into something that looks and sounds quite a lot better. It absolutely kills my 52 Tally, and I'm really kind of like, I'm shocked and surprised and happy at the same time that it actually like wiped the floor with it. So there's those pickups and the wood you've chosen are fantastic. I guess, what sort of wood, was it a different wood used on this one to the previous model?
Well, this one is mostly all ash, and that is it's either known as Victorian ash or mountain ash, and so it comes from your part of the world, and it's an incredibly resonant timber, and I did use that on the body of the first one, but the first one had a maple cap, and maple, it's nice, but it's not as resonant as the ash. And the only drawback with the ash is a little bit harder to work with because there can be some internal checking, which is like little cracks inside the timber. So there's a bit of sort of sorting out and culling to do in the process of making the guitar. But I really like the timber and especially the resonance. Mm.
Yeah, okay, great. And for those who don't know, I'm located in Melbourne, Australia, and Dave is actually in Western Australia, in Australia as well. Not to be confused with his accent, which is from South Africa, is it?
Close? I was Cape Town. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that
cool.
Part of the world.
Very nice. So it'd be a bit of a change in climate from over there.
No, quite similar.
Oh, okay,
we're just where we are now is probably a bit hotter though, because we're a bit inland. So we've sort of found ourselves a rural spot where we can work in peace and quiet, but gets a bit hot in summer.
Yep.
Yeah.